Welcome, everybody. Thank you for patiently waiting for us to dive into our matchup this afternoon on this fine Thursday eve. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. I'll be your sole conductor into 8 Basils versus Anarchy Virtual. An underdog story, as I'm dubbing it this afternoon, with Anarchy Virtual coming in at 4-3 on their overall record so far on the season. 2 wins in a row, if I'm not mistaken. A pretty hard loss to Relentless and several other wins. I think they've only really, only lost obviously 3 times. 2 of them early in the season to Karma and Touchgrass. Close losses, no less. But a squad that's been playing good, winning a lot, and is now challenging 8 Basils, sitting at what is 5-2 record. And currently, what's their win streak looking like as they pump up to 4th place? Not much of one. Recently losing to Apex, Chumbake covering that matchup. 27-18, relatively close. Beating Rex 26-21. 8 Basils squeaking past on that one. And we saw them lose to Acer. One of their few losses that they have suffered so far this season. Do have a squad and team in lobby ready to go, so we should be diving into map 1 shortly, but a quick shout out to everyone diving in and waiting patiently for this matchup this afternoon. I do appreciate you. Does mean a lot to me that you're tuning in, hanging out, and enjoying it. I see in chat, Dyna OD Orion Drift, the best game ever. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some big tournaments coming up. Some really cool vids that we're going to be dropping on the network soon that'll provide all sorts of information on qualifiers and everything. So keep the eyes peeled for pretty much a big announcement drop on the con and everything. It's pretty good opportunities, and honestly, I think it's going to be a pretty cool event. So you definitely should be anticipating going to the con. And honestly, if you're not going to compete in VAIL, then compete in one of the other 4 tournaments that are going to be going live that have a $5,000 prize pool. Might have a chance, believe it or not, in some of these other tournaments. So go check it out. You can actually get information right now on VRML Con, which is what we're going to be filling info in on with those trailers by going to vrmasterleague.com/VRMLCon. It's going to be our biggest event. It's hosted at Phoenix, Arizona this year, July 25th to the 27th for 3 days. We're going to run tournaments for 5 games with over $20,000 in cash. Enough of that, though. We're ready to go into the action. Round 1. Kicking off here on map 1 on Suna. We have 8 Basils on the attack with Anarchy Virtual on the defense. My first round underway. Utility going to be the name of the game this afternoon. Basils watching for the flank and 1-for-1 trade up on site. Waffle trying to hold things down. Here's the nade toss coming to them. That sits by their shoulders. Here's the top of Noah forcing out this way. Yoda finds the connection though. Smoke comes quick, and the duo have to make a commitment here. This smoke definitely going to be the play. Pretty nice flashes over the top. Should allow this swing. And they're going to identify one on the corner. They know there's another on the bottom. They don't. I love scooping up. A key kill. Will they find the second? As we trade shots back and forth. The knife comes through, but so does the shots, and a trade leaves block blast. Alone? Their first round into the hands of Anarchy Virtual, the defending team, but just barely. We've seen some big knife plays coming out at a high tier lately, and I'm excited to see that as a developing meta, especially in the early game. Even in, honestly, late game, we've seen knives come out, close quarters, and connecting in big ways. So I don't know if it's like a resurgence thing we're just seeing more of it or what, but I love tucking in here, trying to use audio cues. Figure out where this attack is. The smoke can deny their vision. The nade utility coming out over the top. Not cooked enough. Shots coming in from Waffle. That nade sticks by their shoulder, and Waffle picks up a double. Still here holding things down. Finally, Obama 14 finds it. Iona flies up the ladder. They go down. A pickup from Blue down the long lane. Nicely connects, and now Brock trapped. Scout rifle, no less. Gold or not. Not the ideal one to be holding. Nice rebound from 8 Basils off of that pistol round loss, but I like the attempt. The double kill. Definitely a good way to start for Anarchy Virtual on defense. Waffle goes down, and then that kind of snowballs on their round loss, but could have been there for AB. Nade comes in just before there. Utility back and forth. Block blast pushing up. Finds one over the top of the projector. That scanner down on site. Smoke comes out to deny some vision. Maybe allows his team to rotate up with a nade over the top from I Love connects. Another kill and another pickup. The scanner does get scooped by Kirby. Finds one blind through the smoke. Another smoke comes down, allowing the plant. And the duo here fighting. UB2 with blind. I Love scoops up another. Obama 14 alone, staring at 2 gold guns that I don't think they necessarily want to use. Or do they have to? Scanner's down. They're waiting for the defuse to come in. Knife is out, no less. I Love with the AK. Does swing around long, and yeah, I'm playing Ring Around the Rosie here as 14 just buys time. 10 seconds left. I Love not going to find it. Not going to have enough time to go up and get the scanner, and a tough round to swallow. As 8 Basils will win on time.
Round starting. Get ready.
Shout out to the folks in chat. Appreciate you stopping by. I'll see you in here. Extrius, Christy, Abita, Pike. It's definitely not how you say it. Appreciate you. Ooh, pushing up with a nice little, is that a flat smoke? Yes, it is. Night vision pretty perfectly here. Gonna roll down just a touch. A couple more utility smokes coming out. The swing, though, from Waffle. Finds one. Obama with a quick refrag through the smoke. If you trade back and forth over sight. Meanwhile, the actual scanner push coming in. And as Elite turns. Ooh. Down good they go. A nice pickup and a nice split from 8 Basils there. Really dividing Anarchy Virtual and not allowing them to have time to rotate over to scanner. And it did. I mean, we traded down to a pretty close, I think, a 1v2 there at the end. But some fast rounds on the offense here from 8 Basils. And Anarchy Virtual really need to slow this offense down a little bit. Heavy stack here coming in towards the side. Requires some utility, and everybody gets picked up. Kirby wreaks havoc through the center for a double.
Round starting.
Put that one in the highlight reel. Block blast getting picked up from the swing up through the center, and Kirby quickly turning for the final kill in that round. The question from Christy, what's VAIL like? I think it's very akin to a Counter-Strike game. Especially the buy phase and the economy, money earned. The way utilities used. It's basically a little bit more agile in VR, as you see Kirby Dog able to vault. Jumping and getting pretty comfortable with this push. Finds one, looks for two. No, the reload ends up hurting. Kotiv does take down B-site, though, and look at this, the push coming in. Scanner actually, oh no, Scanner's down. Block Blast knows it. We see the Incendiary there, denying a little bit of a rotation, and Blue actually scoops up Biona, so it does leave Block Blast alone in a 1v3. Take a look at the mini-map. You can see the rotation coming in here from Kotiv. Going to support Blue, and Obama 14 eventually going to push down this long hallway once everyone is set up in an order. I think Kotiv was grabbing utility on some down players before the push comes in. We'll see how Block Blast handles this. Looks for one and can't find the first of what that would need to be a triple kill. Another good round in the books. 8 Basils, definitely the favored squad this afternoon. Look at the matchup history coming in at 4th overall on the standings so far in the NA side, and Anarchy Virtual down at 10th. But AV have been playing well. They're on a 2-game win streak, strong wins. 2 losses very early in the season, so they put a lot of their wins in the back half of the season. Well, I guess in the most recent games. That's put them up into this challenge essentially against 8 Basils. Ooh, and a disconnect from Basils. An opportunity maybe. 5v4, make it a 4v4. Kirby finds the kill. But ooh, a nice nade from Block Blast actually connects. Blue goes down. Another pickup through the middle, and it's all going to come down to the duo push on the side. Oh, another nade kill from downtown as Waffle cleans things up, and whether the disconnect was a big impact or not, a pretty good hold coming in from AB. 8 Basils unfortunately suffering this disconnect. They do need to get that player back in before the round starts, or they won't be here for another round. And it does look like it's going to be a little bit of a power play going on here for the Anarchy Virtual. Final round of the half before we swap sides, so good time to have these advantages, but not what 8 Basils need. They're finally in a bit of a rhythm. Up 5-1, but now it's getting chipped away. Could be a 2-point lead at the end of this half. Good swing from Elite. Battle up the middle with Kirby. Doesn't much, but Blue does find their target, and the fight down the long lane goes the way of 8 Basils. They don't need the entire team to push up through the middle. Kotiv finds one down the long angle, and everybody working together. 8 Basils come out on top. Swap sides, and now it's Basil's turn to defend. AV get to attack. Player advantage maybe mattering a little bit more on offense than defense, or for AV. I think it hurts 8 Basils more on defense to be down a player than it does on offense. You can still plant, you can still split. But on defense, you definitely lose some up the middle coverage. Let's see if it even matters. Today is 1-2 punch. Kirby and Blue find their targets. Nice duo swing. Kill up through the middle, and the push on the site. Gonna be a 2v3 here. If they're not careful, make it a 1v3. A nice pickup from Elite. Nade over the top. Just to the side of Elite, and now into the fight we go, but not too quickly. The kills from Kirby Dog with the revolver. Pistol round into 8 Basils' hands. Gotta wonder if the Basils are expecting a 5th here shortly, or they're going to continue to suffer these connection issues. We do look at the scoreboard here and learn about supply capsules, or see that Kirby Dog has put up 16 kills. Everyone else pretty much even in K's, but Kirby Dog here absolutely Nice stacked push on the site. Iona goes down to an early nade. Good smokes, but there's some defensive ones here that are throwing. I love off, and Coda finds one, makes it 2 on the backside of that smoke. The push comes through, and Waffle alone picks up a double. Ooh, a nice retort coming in here. Makes it a 1v2. Scanner down, and we'll see what this push looks like. Health low from Elite, but blue is full. What utilities left? How much of it is scavengeable by Waffle is the question here. He's going to have to pick the scanner up or take the fight. And I don't know if they know Waffle's crossed. That's a nice instant. It's going to buy a little time and a good peek from blue that connects.
Match point.
Quick couple of points for the Basils here. Still down a player, but does not matter. Doing well against AV. Impressive to see, and I was hoping that AV coming in off of a couple of wins and you know, getting up to this challenge point here, basically, where I get matched with a pretty high tier squad. Money, and they have 2 points. I think it's during pistol rounds. A nice 1-for-1 trade there. Keeps things in favor of AV. 4v3. Again, Basil's down a player here. Big rotation coming in as Kirby finds more kills. Kodev also with one. And Waffle just trying to surprise some folks on the back, but Kodev connects onto Brock. The swing comes in from Elite as Waffle drops the angle, and Scanner's down in the back, with Waffle having to basically now retake Scanner, even though they have site control. Any health, finds a double. Elite swings out, and oh man, almost. Anarchy Virtual hanging in there, but a quick 9-2 map 1 opener. Walks in the W for statistical favorite this afternoon, 8 bids. Roster, hopefully. But we're going to continue on 5v4 because it didn't seem to stop them much on Suna there. Some good replays, no less. Some good multi-kills from both sides. And I do feel like we're going to take a gander at the KDs. Kirby Dog 17-7, Kodev 11-7, Waffle 11-10. I love 7-9. Bad KDs coming in from the two leaders on both teams. Ultimately, like AV did a decent job of challenging a team that has a little bit more experience playing at a higher tier. Look at the history of these teams. Anarchy Virtual does come in from Season 2 as a squad and did I think finish Season 2 in the Gold Division. In comparison, right now, 8 Basils this season sitting at Master tier and 4th overall on the ladder, so not an easy opponent if you're just breaking into the top 10, probably for the first time as a team. You know, this squad has been floating around maybe 12, 13 on the overall ladder for a little bit now, and a couple of wins under their belt. I don't know. I'm curious what they're going to try and do here in map 2. I'm curious if they're going to have this advantage still. 5-4. 8 Basils will fill that roster slot. And I'll go ahead and give them the ready up so they're not waiting on me, but Yeah, I wonder if 8 Basils are feeling confident enough to keep taking this challenge of a 5v4. We are going to see a roster ad here soon enough. Okay, we'll cut to a brief intermission. When we come back, map number 2, so don't go anywhere.
Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. Can somebody
Go.
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match point.
A brief timeout. We now get ready to dive into our second map of the afternoon. It does look like it could continue to be a 4v5 for 8 Basils here. I was just looking at their roster. I did notice that there's not 8 Basils, there's only 6 Basils. And even then, if you don't have 2 of the Basils, you're only 4 Basils. And that's how many Basils there are this afternoon. As we do get ready to dive into the action, the Basils, the 4 of them, will be on defense to start things off on the new map with Anarchy Virtual on the attack. Maybe a little bit of a way for AV to get their foot in the door. They've also got this power play in front of them with this 5v4. I don't think 8 Basils are going to fix at this point. They're taking the time out. Nice connection long range from Block Blast, finds Blue. Corner, and another kill from Block Blast, making it 2. Peek up over the top, shuts down the kill leader for Anarchy Virtual, and into a 2v2. We go with Kirby Dog flying the corner wildly. Goes down in a trade. Determination coming in, goes down. Their first death. There's a sub, and 8 Basils take the lead, map 2. Off the pistol opener. Again, we appreciate everyone stopping by and checking out the VAIL matchup this afternoon. We've got a lot of content on the VRML network, some big tournaments coming up with Orion Drift in the near future, at the beginning of the next month, or the end of this month, whatever you want to really consider it. I think end of this month, technically. I think it's still May. Or, oh, I guess beginning next. That's hard to keep track. Let's go over the top. Blue and Cotive connecting. June and July absolutely packed postseason tournaments, multiple streams live at the same time. It's going to be tremendous. Hey, Basils with a quick one here. 2-0 out the gate. The player disparity does not matter to them. Oh, and, well, they've gotten a fifth. As if they need to add insult to injury. Saru has jumped in. Wonder if that is a sub or a raw. I think it's a sub. I don't think it's a roster. Oh yeah, Saru's there. Never mind. Here for map 2 though, and that definitely reinforces this defense. Oh, 1-2. Kirby with more kills on the backside. Determination not connecting with their trade there, and Saru, the only one going down. Rest of the team survives through, and I think Basils going to be going for a shutout in our first half on defense. 8-0 opener into the pistol round of the tournament. They're going to win this series 9-0 map 2. Pretty quick pace map 1, but I still felt AV really nice job of battling back. Kills the utility really standing out. Kirby and Killer finally goes down early in the round. That's a big pickup for AV. This could be their first point they can put on the board here. Coated with one through the smoke. Nice. Pops out for another, picks up a double. Really good coming in from Coated. Saru reinforces Coated from the side. And a very quick succession of events. Everybody stacked up here against the low health attacker from AV, and
Round starting. Get ready.
yeah, now 8 Basils are really putting their foot on the gas. Map 2 looking good for them here on Cliffhanger, I believe. No, there's no way that's what it's called. Why do I think that's what it's called? With a nice pickup. Finally, AV in a pretty good spot here, able to press the advantage nicely. Sometimes you see teams fumbling when they do try and press the advantage, and a nice pickup from Waffle on the other side. How does that happen? Explain that in the rhythm of the game to me. 5 alive for Anarchy Virtual. Not a single person goes down, and they scoop up their first point. Only after losing 4 in a row. That's pretty cool. I like to see that coming in from a team that has a lot to learn from a series like this. You know, there's a lot to gain by having this cast for them, and a lot to look back on in the strats, the overheads, see what they could have done better, what they could have changed. The elite there. Peek up would be dangerous here as that nade doesn't quite go where they wanted it to. Threat up through the middle that they're gonna need to get rid of. He swings out. They do go down. Rockshot also scooping up another Overwatch here, keeping Kirby Dog, the main killer, tucked in a beautiful trio swing from this AV squad. They're settling in as Block Blast picks up a double. 2 points. Most they've scored so far this series, and starting to feel a little bit better for AV. As they bounce back a touch from tough opener. Back half of this first half looking good. Maybe they've settled into the fact that they're going 5v5 now, and it doesn't feel as strange as going 4v4, but early kills have been key for this squad. Going the other way, maybe not so much. Rock, and everybody's piling up here to push forward. nade slows down the aggressive swing. And yeah, 8 Basils saying, you know, we were aggressive, doing well. We're going to get aggressive again. Overwhelm AV on their push. And
Round starting.
the Basils again making quick work of this series. Oh, back and forth. We trade a swing out from the trio. Determination getting aggressive there. Could have used some reinforcement on that play, but let's see if Waffle can connect on some flanks. No, through the smoke, Kirby connects. Only had a little bit of HP as well, so unfortunate that was the case. Definitely some angles getting looked at over here from Brock. Team now going to push and collapse. Brock, meanwhile, in a nice rotation here, could throw off this squad a little bit. Nope. Getting shot at, swings to look for 2, but too many targets coated. With 1 HP, Kirby that's also low. Couldn't decide which one to go for. These swap sides. 8 Basils attack and AV have a chance to settle in a little bit. Try and hold the line and prevent this score line from getting out of control. Yeah. And this is 8 Basils feeling very confident, pushing in very aggressively on the side. Everyone's stacked. Scan quickly goes down to the duo here. Can't do anything against Codev. 16-3. Kirby not the standout shooter this time. In 10 rounds, Codev absolutely carrying the weight of this map 2. And they continue. Standout players that are connecting here for Basils, really making the difference. But if it's pressed, Determination and Brock both connect, and Brock finally gets rid of the kill leader, their 4th death. A nice hold from AV, countering a bit of what is a very confident squad right now. Kirby Dog, the kill leader last map, not so much in map 2 here. Ooh, another position on the pillar. I wonder if there's a lack of... Well, they should know how many are alive. Cliffside, that's what... They're, doing what you don't want to do against a player like Kirby. Go one at a time at them. And I think Brock is holding scanner while Determination looks for the side kill, and oof, that was risky. That could have been the 1-2-3.
Round starting.
But it's not, and AV prevent this from going to map point. Map 1 going 9-2 in favor of Basils, so AV scoring the most they've scored so far in this series, going 7-3. Oh, and the close range fight goes elite only one way. Block Blast looking for more, finds the second. Continues to drop back for reinforcement, and a good hold that's shut down this 8 Basils squad. 4-7 for Anarchy Virtual.
Round starting.
Chipping away at this lead, only 3 points now. Map 2 on Cliffside, a little bit lesser known map. You know, you go on map 1 like Suna with a team like 8 Basils, who's had experience playing at a high tier for several seasons. It's definitely a little different than when you go to a map like Cliffside, or we don't even have a mini map available for it in the spectator client because it's so new. So, been around a bit this season, but I don't think a lot of teams are playing it often. Determination has a bounty of targets in front of them, picks up a wonderful double kill on sight. Make it a triple, can't find the fourth. Scanner gonna go down in time, I think so. Saru gets denied, and Anarchy Virtual are settling into their defensive half nicely here. Let's see if Elite can disrupt this. 1v2, Brock low, Waffle full. And Waffle springs their trap from the flank. Scanner will get interrupted. This is a 5-7 map 2 here. This is a little something happening. Anarchy Virtual on defense. Basils maybe getting overconfident or overly aggressive, I'm not sure, but these are some good holds from AV and some nice replays, honestly. Some good multi-kills coming in as Determination finds a triple there on site. They'll love the pre-fire here, and then the swing to pick up that last kill over the top. Couldn't get the four-piece, but still a really nice hold overall. Big push now coming in. Stacked and heavy. Basils team trying to lean into their coordination a little more this time. Everyone stacked up, works pretty well for the moment. There's a nice refrag on Brock. They need it for a second to be in control. And the retake not so hot coming in from AV as they go down at a time. Determination again with a double though. Picks up 2. I Love finds Kirby, and in a quick trade of events, Elite finds themselves in a 1v1. Determination, ooh, now aware of Elite's position. So low on HP, Elite here cannot afford to get shot. They gotta play a ring around the rosy, and Determination connects with plenty of time to interrupt the scanner. It's another point. This is 6-7. This is a 1-point lead for 8 Basils. Now AV may take map 2 at this pace. They are kind of locking in. This is the underdog story of the afternoon going into this series. Obviously 8 Basils 5-2. Looking good so far with Anarchy Virtual 4-3. Ranked 4 versus ranked 10. So AV definitely looking for, I mean, every round here matters. This is a huge map 2 for them right now, taking it to 6-7. Look at how slow 8 Basils are now pushing this, taking things real methodical, not overextending. Saru finds a nice double over the top there. Jump from Kirby. Push continues from this offense. And, they're 2-0 now here. Gonna try and fend off everyone as Block Blast runs into a bounty of targets. Kirby can't win against, or Brock can't win against Kirby, and now we go to match point. 8 Basils taking a bit of time to get to this stage, but hey, I'm impressed that AV are bouncing back like this. Comes in. A nice bounce off the corner. Saru, however, catches Determination, the kill leader for this AV squad. For them to go down so early definitely stings. The nade through the smoke connects as well. Over the top though, and now a push coming in on the site. One tucked in, and oh no, Kotiv finds 2. No, Waffle fends their life off. Brock manages to scoop up 1 from their life, so it's a 1v2. Waffle's position known. Scanner going down at a site. Blue 1 bullet away from going down. Elite relatively full, and Waffle 75%. So a chance as they see Blue head peek there. There's a nice connection. Waffle still has half HP. Elite a little bit more. Nade gonna come in over the top. That'll cost them. There's a nice peek from Elite on the short side. Ends up finding the final point for map 2. A little closer than map 1.
Use this time to warm up.
But it is 8 Basils to take map 2. I don't know if we're diving into map 3 right away, but a fun side series there. A bit better than I was honestly anticipating it to go, and Anarchy Virtual making a run for that back half. They will lose the series, though. It does look like we are just going to get into our third map, which I do like. Keeping it quick. As round 1 on Miru for map 3 kicks off. The series locked in by 8 Basils. Now on the attack in map 3. And we're into the pistol opener. Nice swing from Waffle. As I love fights through the center. Saru actually with the scanner is the one that does get to sight. The scanner will go down. Ooh, a nice flash actually stopped Saru from planting the scanner. The duo's going to push through, and that was almost a headshot through the smoke. There, they can't connect onto I Love, and AV to the point on the board. Every round matters. That's why we're playing this third map this afternoon, even though the series has been won by 8 Basils with a map 1 win on Suna 9-2 and a map 2 win on Cliffside 9-6. We do still play map 3 out, so it does mean that there's a chance here for AV to scoop up more rounds and minimize the damage done to their overall rank, minimize how much they'll go down. Maybe they'll still be around 11th or 12th after a loss here, but honestly, they probably won't go down much anyway because they were going up against an opponent that was substantially, I think, about as far in rank as you can get in a regular season matchup. So. Play. Determination not ready for Kodev, though, who's getting incredibly aggressive up front here. Wants a couple more picks, and Block Blast is quickly alone, trying to defend the swing as Kodev with a nice kill. Puts the Basils on the board for the third map. Pistols are done. On to rifles for maybe an SMG if you're Kirby Dog. What a nice opening game there for Waffle. Flash over the top. Won't. Push in through the smoke. Kodev trying to replicate their success of last round. Can't quite. Oh, and a great nade toss from Saru that connects. Placed. I Love swings, nicely timed. And Saru low on HP, not a favorable exchange coming up here. Saru does have scanner there, knowing that I Love has the cross covered. They are going to opt for a plant over at B, which should go through relatively uncontested.
Scan started.
How does Saru play this? The flash on the corner is nicely placed. I think Saru's blind behind the crates right now. That nade's gonna put the hand of I Love in a bad spot for a fight.
Round started.
On a nade, not on the gun. And that's a clutch. Plain and simple. A nice idea to rotate. Don't challenge the angle you can't control, and pretty heads-up play at the end of the day from the 8 Basils squad. That gets them their lead here in map 3. Two down quickly as Kodev again continues to press forward here. Brock finally shuts down Coda. Not before I Love goes down. Waffle on a push forward. Trying to get this retake on the site as smoke is down and defense tucked in. They're going to be waiting on Kirby Dog. Well, especially now, he's the only one. He's the only block alive on defense. Going to try and pop up catches Kirby. Scanner goes down. And it's Blue and Saru defending the retake. Saru with the long angle. Or no, sorry, with the short angle. Knife out, ready to go. Blue also knife out. Peek for Saru goes in their favor, and
Round starting.
8 Basils are looking good this season, that's to say the least. I'm looking forward to their next week matchup. They're coming off a big win here. Might even be pushing themselves up into the top 3 for the season, so definitely what this team wants to be seeing for themselves. Coordination on point. Utility placement on point. They're challenging a team that is doing their best. AV is putting a great foot forward here this afternoon. That 2 looked fantastic. We're seeing good utility toss both ways. As Kotiv continues to dominate the aggressive push onto the back corner. Pick up multiple kills. And what's their KD at? 3 and 5 rounds.
Round starting.
Sorry with 7-1. Almost equally as impressive. Kotiv definitely the leader in the lobby right now. Up with a fortunately timed jump for Kotiv. Does finally end their aggressive push forward, but only after completely abandoned the other site because they wanted to stack B so heavy to try to anticipate a B side push. They end up losing everyone instead, and retake nicely timed though. Waffle does get flashed, but does find the kill. A counter flash going over the top. That's well placed. Could have been a double on site, but 8 Basils hold things down. 5 and 1 on the half. 2 more rounds to go, and then we swap sides. And Anarchy Virtual get a chance to be attacked. You definitely want to be putting a few more points on the board on defense on Miru if you want to have a decent shot at taking the map. So I do think AV are in a pretty tight spot here. They have been all series, and they fought back nicely on Cliff's side, but not finding as much success here. Kirby Dog trying to use 2 pistols here, not so easy to reload. As Brock comes alive on B site, finds 3. For Kirby, that's 4, and I Love had to ruin the ace opportunity for Brock, but they do put up a second point.
Get ready.
And like I've been saying, I do got to give credit to AV. Impressive that they're sticking through this, honestly, as much as they are, and taking as many rounds as they have against this 8 Basil squad. Definitely is an indicator to me that they're probably deserved of the top 10. I'm curious how they go up against the squad in maybe their 8th or 9th position. What we're really seeing here is the coordination of 8 Basil shining through. Very fast, persistent, very fast and consistent. As they need 3 more points to lock in a 3rd map, and now they go on defense, probably making things a little bit easier for themselves. Quick shout out to everyone tuning in. A reminder to check out VRML Con. Happening July 23rd to the 25th, or 25th to 27th. 5 games, $20,000 in cash prizing. Online qualifiers with dates coming up soon. You can get a chance to qualify to play on stage and a chance to win $5,000 per tournament. Codev here with a 4-piece. Oh my goodness. They have to let Codev try and push up for the ace now as Waffles alone on the swing. And just reinforce Codev. Don't take the kills. Blue goes down there. Codev is still on the rotation, and Kirby Dog, right as Codev saw it, ends up ruining the ace. And we'll take another look at that multi-kill from Codev, just finding their shots. Swing. Dominating that pistol round. I just want to look at that quadra kill again, in the pistol round, no less. Boom, boom. Reload, boom, boom. 2 kills per clip with the pistol is impressive. 15-5. Takes a little damage there. Tries to fight in the close quarters and gets punished for it. The swing in the open goes Determination's way, and a nice little bit of a bounce back here from AV on offense, finally putting things together. Saru going to try and clutch this up as Determination. He's found a couple of kills this round. Finally coming alive here. Wonder if they're going to be ready. Oh, drops the gun. Don't want to have that down while Determination swings up towards objective. Scanner is not in their hands yet. But Determination pretty confident Saru is here up through the middle based off team comms. They're going to look for the fight and they'll find it. AV put another one on the board. Making map 1 their worst map of the series. Only taking 2 points. 3 here in map 3, and that's an interesting one. They looked, again, like on a bit of a comeback map 2 there. Taking it all the way to 9-6, but... Two more points to go, and 8 Basils have this third map of the afternoon. AV, though, are putting up a decent attacking half here. They may take this one close again like they did map 2. Determination really standing out here in these later rounds. But aggression is Blue. Ooh, overcommits. Swings without Kirby, and now Kirby with a shotgun. Bit of an off-meta weapon choice. Gonna sit here and wait for what I think is gonna be maybe a rotation towards A. Anarchy Virtual trying to kind of figure out what the play is here from Kirby, or where Kirby is. Kirby not quite sure where this push is yet. Eyes are going to go down. That'll give him an indicator. Oh my goodness, Kirby finds one. Are they going to be ready for the second behind them? I don't think so. Brock does push out. Kirby's here. They are going to swing this corner. And Kirby clutches it with the shotgun. What in the world?
Scan interrupted. Match point.
Taking out the back. Just the timing. And a big clutch there as the Basils take it to map point. Kirby praising the power of the shotgun there. actually. The main killer going down early is not too ideal. Determination with a double. Blue finds 2, almost 3. That would have been bad. Scanner goes down for a moment. And Saru has to win this fight for there to be a chance for the 8 Basils to win. But AV putting more on the board. Total score line for them now breaches that over 10, which is pretty nice. Like I said, their rank separation is pretty noticeable. You know, you can see 8 Basils sitting there 4th in that master tier, and Anarchy Virtual just breaking into gold recently. Still technically silver star there, but this might keep them away from that gold mark for another week or 2. I'm still impressed, though, with their contest this afternoon, and we go into, again, what could be the final point of the series. Blue down early is nice. That's a good flash, but Brock's on the side to catch Kirby getting aggressive. A lot of this is going to come down to Saru, and they do not find their kills. Kodev on the flank, playing this one super patient, takes down Determination. Not ready for any more, oddly enough, and they'll get punished. Basil is trying some off-meta choices. Over the top from Elite comes in, block blast, disconnects. But AV put a 5th on the board.
Match point.
And Kirby still sticking to that shotgun, but everyone else pretty much back to standard weapon choices. On the defense, at least. And on offense. AV, yeah, just trying to put points up. 8 Basils, maybe recognizing that, yeah, it is a win, but still. Let points through like this as the actually one of the top 3 teams this season. A little bit of a weakness for your future opponents. Elite can't quite handle the close quarter push from Determination. I love finding some kills. The swing out from Blue, punishing. Saru in the corner will find one. Scanner in the hand of Block Blast. Waffle waiting for that rotation, just missed. Block Blast fighting too many, and Waffle on the push. Catches 1, needs 2 more. Blue not exactly with a long-range weapon. Saru getting the angle here. Doesn't have a good... Ooh, yes, they do. They'll find the kill. It's that round into their hands, and it's the series locked in for 8 Basils. Comfortable win for them, but honestly a hard-fought loss for AV. Look at the overall score line, and you see a 9-2 opener that didn't go their way on Suna, but I still saw pretty decent KDs for the AV squad, and then 9-6 Cliffside, a near comeback there, and a 9-5 Miru. Underdogs didn't come out on top this afternoon, but I wanted to see if it could have happened. And what we did see was a pretty on-point 8 Basils squad. So hats off to both teams for jumping in and playing this afternoon. Hats off to everyone tuning in, hanging out, and enjoying the action. We do appreciate your support. Reminder to check out VRMLCon. If you don't have your tickets, go to vrmasterleague.com/VRMLCon. It's going to be it for me this afternoon. My name is Ben Nightfire with 2 E's. I'll see you all next time. Until then, stay put. VAIL VRML is brought to you by XLab, Exclaim, Helga, the esports manager, HyperX, ProTube VR, VR Cover. Thanks for watching.